Good evening and welcome. So, a week and a half ago, we visited Snetterton for round two and saw some absolute epic wheel-to-wheel racing. And tonight we go to the glorious Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari, or as it's most commonly known as Imola, for another night of excitement and drama here on the iRacing UK Twitch and YouTube channels. I'm Tim Cox, and always, I'm joined. Well, I'll be joined later on in the evening by James Parfit later in the show. But now I'm joined by Chris Rowlands. And unfortunately, a bit of sad news. Obviously, your friend of mine, Mr. Ian Winchester, he normally covers the short race at the start. He's going to be taking a bit of a break from commentary due to the sad passing of his father. Ian, from everyone in the production team, the drivers, community, and I'm sure all the viewers at home as well, our thoughts are with you during this challenging time, mate, and we look forward to hearing you back in the commentary booth as soon as you feel well ready to come back. Chris, wow, we're watching, obviously watching various live streams of some of our drivers taking part in the 24 hours of Spa. The BMWs were just so
and he's in the only Mercedes. So I wonder if perhaps it is a slightly different track profile. Again, I feel like I say this every single time we race in the tin tops. I'm glad I'm commentating and not racing because it's a lot of hard work, this track. And I think a lot of these guys will be quite grateful to have a reasonably small grid tonight of, I think, 13 cars, it looks like it will be, which will, I think, allow for some very good racing.
Yeah, I think so. We visited Imola during season one, and it was a epic battle between James Armstrong and Alberto Gravilli. I know Alberto, this being he being half Italian, this is counting his home race as he called it back then, and I'm sure we'll be seeing, hopefully, we'll be seeing him later on as well, and I'll be looking to replicate that. And yeah, Imola's, personally, I don't know about you, Chris. I find it really, really tricky. Especially the sort of the first couple of the chicanes, so Tamburello and Villeneuve especially, where I just can never seem to quite hook it up right. But be interested to see how our drivers get on tonight.
Yes, and I think it'll be very interesting as well with, we've got all these different makes of cars, which means they're all going to be taking these corners slightly differently. And with such a small margin for error, because this is a classic track, you see that's plenty of grass and gravel on the outskirts of the track. There's, especially here at Rivazza, very little margin for error. We'll probably see on the first few laps with cold tyres and cold brakes, people overshooting their braking down that hill and going off into the gravel. So I think, yeah, it's going to be a battle of the drivers against each other and the drivers against the track, and it's going to be who can master the track is probably going to be the eventual winner tonight.
I think you're not wrong there. Just looking at the standings for the sprint category. So the first race that we run of the evening, Andreas Bodea. Wow, he's been an absolute standout performer so far in his Porsche 911. Currently leading the championships on 62 points. 20 points, well, 22 points clear from Edmondson in his Ferrari and Jonathan Hitch, and also in his Ferrari tied on 40 points. And we see Gravilli, I mentioned him earlier, obviously fourth place, also running Porsche, obviously a new car to the iRacing service, and it's been really, a lot of drivers have taken up. It's been really, really popular, and yeah, I haven't had a chance to drive it personally, but I've spent a bit of time in the Porsche Cup car. It's definitely, it's really good for handling.
Yeah, I think this is what surprises me as one of the open wheel plebs, is how a lot of these cars, the BMW is another one, they're actually a lot more stable than I think they are. Again, it just sort of shows my lack of ability in these cars, that, you see these drivers here, and I know this is a short race, but these are still very talented drivers. And the way they can handle these cars and throw them around, it really is good viewing, as I believe we are gridding up for the start of the short race with a, I believe, 14 car grid.
yeah, we'll just see wait for that to pick up, and yeah, it'd be good to hear from you guys over in the chat. We have a couple of sound issues, but hopefully those gremlins will disappear out of the system. So,
Yes,
Chris.
oh yeah, you go. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, who are you going to put your money on for the sprint race?
Well, I don't really know these guys that well, so I'm going to root for Dave Burridge, who, excuse me, who is starting from the back. I fancy a last to first challenge from Dave. No pressure, Dave. We've actually got Nathan Willoughby and Rob Windsor are going to be on the front row, and as you were saying earlier, with the Beamers absolutely dominating Spa, they are second, third, and fourth on the grid here. Although Chris Eddersford appears to have started from the pit lane, so that brings them. He's not racing apparently. He's just in the session to view it. So we've got Rob Windsor and Stuart Brown in the BMWs, and they are our top two. So there you go. It's even more proving our point as we get ready for the rolling start as they come round, I believe, to Rivazza. Yep, and then it will be a long drive to the main straight. And of course, it's up to Rob to decide when the pack goes after the safety car's gone in. And Stuart Brown's actually given him quite a long leash there. He's not alongside just yet.
No, not quite, but just waiting for the lights to go out, and then imagine tucking. Also, was trying to tuck in behind him, man, ready to take up the slipstream down to turn, well, what effectively is turn 2, Tamburello, and we are off. A great start for a Windsor in the BMW there, in that green BMW, and Brown, as we said, just tucked right up behind it, and they've managed to pull really clear of Atif in his red Ferrari. McMullen just tucking in behind. Looks like the drivers all got through pretty cleanly now as they've come around the second part of Tamburello and head down to Villeneuve for the first time. We've got that Audi in the back, that pink Audi. It really stands out there of James Foster. And he's got Pearson in his Ferrari, tucks up right behind him, but he's gone round to the outside, maybe looking for a bit of a switchback, but no, he's not going to be able to get it done. He's going to have to run wide, but that's going to leave him. He's going to have to go on the defensive end. Vittermore didn't get that great a drive. I thought he would do off the corner there. And Messenger, look at him in his Porsche. He's tucked up right behind, let's have a look who's he's behind. So yeah, he's behind Pearson's Ferrari there, and really close. And it seems to go all the way quite calmly here so far, Chris.
The cleanest start to a race at Imola I think I've ever seen, and again it's the consequence of a relatively small grid tonight, but that is not going to mean we're not going to see excellent racing. We've already seen some very racy looking moves from people. Nothing's quite come off yet, I believe. Yes, Rob Windsor and Stuart Brown are very quickly getting some ground at the front. We did actually see an incredible save on the exit of Tosa. I have a feeling that was Stuart Williams. So he did very well to keep that car facing the right way as it got very slippy on exit. There we go, we see the same thing we just said. That has happened to number 23, which is Stuart Pearson, who's now going to be right down at the back.
He's right in line for the pit exit, so pit entrance there though, so hopefully it's not going to cost him too dearly if he's got to pull into the pit lane. It looks like he may well have done. Yeah, he's entered into the pits. So we've got Joe McMullen. We saw him last season, some really good strong drives for him. At the moment he's got Foster in that pink Audi tucked up right behind them as they come down to Villeneuve now for the second time. And I think looking to Foster, we're looking to deploy the power of that V10 and that Audi, maybe on the run round to round out of Tosa to Pittarella.
Yeah, there's actually, it's as difficult of a track as this is. There's sort of a lot of half overtaking opportunities if you just line it up correctly. I mean, you'd be brave to do it up here into Piratella, but if you get that good run on the exit of Tosa, as we've
Brown's running very slow.
Brown going very slowly. Has he had some damage or a slowdown?
There's nothing appearing on the log. Let's see. Take a look what's happened. This is on board, looking backwards from Atif. See if he appeared up. No, he must have a slowdown. I wonder
if he has perhaps not changed his qualifying fuel and is nursing it back to the pit lane. I can't see any other reason why he'd potentially be going that slowly.
He's another driver who's lost a couple of places. Joe Turner McMullen something's happened to him. He's dropped 3 places. Let's take a little look as they come through the chicane, and he's pulled over.
That feels more like a slowdown.
It does, doesn't it? Oh, it's cost him so dearly. Obviously, you mentioned, Chris, that it's so hard to overtake around here. As we've now got the battle of the Porsches between Stuart Williams and Dave Burridge. Burridge just getting through past Williams there. I think that's going to cost McMillan's Lambo dearly. Oh, no, we've got a spinner. Oh, that's Foster. He's lost it there on the entrance to Tamburello. And look, he's going to wait now, Chris, on the apex for everyone to come past. And then all of a sudden, where he's been gifted a place, and all that straight into the barrier, where clearly a bit of frustration kicking in there. And he's trying to get it turned round. Oh, it's cost him so dearly. Such a shame, because he was driving so well, was James Foster, and it's cost him dearly. I've just looked at Warren Messenger. He's had an incident somewhere off camera. We'll see if we can catch up what happened to him. But look at Tim van der Wittenborg. He's climbed up 6 places, up to 5th place, Chris.
He's having a very good race so far. I think he's been one of the racier chaps we've seen in the short race series so far. He's always been near the top of the standings, from what I seem to remember. And he's determined to get back up into the top of the standings as we watch what happened to Warren Messenger. And is that a sneaky move on the inside?
Is that contact?
Oh, and he's just been tapped by the number 7. That was Van den Wittenborg. So a bit of a pace discrepancy there, but like we're saying, there are lots of half places you can overtake, and perhaps that wasn't the time to be sticking your nose up the front.
But look who's back up to 4th, Chris. Joe Turner McMullen, after his slowdown earlier, cost him dearly, losing 3 places, has now, thanks to all the incidents in front of him, has now elevated himself back up to 4th place. What a brilliant bit of luck.
He's doing really well, and I was clearly talking nonsense about Stuart Brown, because he's back in 3rd, and he's right on the tail of Retief now.
Yeah, so just the times are starting to tumble down in terms of fastest lap. Last time around was Rob Windsor, and then Stuart Brown. Oh, that's just very tight on the inside, going too wide in the entrance to Tamburello there. And it's Burridge, he's got Brammer in front of him in his Ferrari, but now there's the run up to Villeneuve. Looks like Burridge has got a better exit off Tamburello as they head up to Villeneuve. That's it through. That elevates him up to 9th place there, Chris.
Yes, although we just saw him go slightly wide on exit into Villeneuve there, so I think he's lost that position back to Brammer.
Yeah, they're fighting just in the background, and that's those two. I don't think they're going to separate each other by very much, and for the whole race, he's managed to get it back through, Chris.
Yeah, and got Nick on Twitter, which I believe is our very own Nick Allen, is calling that a cheeky nudge from Zine, and saying Turner's going to lose this place soon. Well, we're seeing that in action there. He's defended well so far. And there's a cheeky nudge, yeah.
That was incredibly cheeky. Great to get a little replay of that one to see exactly how that one unfolded. But look at the Merc at Van Wittenborn. He's absolutely all over the back of that Lamborghini. Oh, he's gone to the grass, trying to make a pass up the inside, off the track. He's trying absolutely everything to get past Turner McMullen's Lamborghini.
Yep, and they've still got 24 minutes left to go, 23 minutes left to go. So I guess it's a case of, if they want to get past, they reckon they've got the pace to catch up and get one of those podium positions. I mean, Rob Windsor is pretty calm out in the lead, and when you've got that 5-second gap, it's quite nice because you don't have to drive at 100% anymore. You can drive at 95%, which, especially on a track like this, it just allows you a little bit more to not make those mistakes. As we've seen already, a few people have lost it on the exit, for example.
Got the slow motion here from the rear of Brammer, and oh yes, that was a very large cheeky nudge as Nick proposed it. And while we're taking note of that one, Van der Wittenborg's managed to get past Turner McMullen. He's got 2 cars behind him. I think it's just that grunt of that Merc V8 has allowed him to catch up on the approach to Tamburello. And yeah, he's taken it round the outside for the first part of Tamburello, and then allowing him to be on the inside for the second part.
That's very strong, assertive driving, but there now does appear to be a bit of a train behind him, because of course with these overtakes you do slightly compromise your line, so it's allowed Davis and Messenger behind to catch right up. So we've now got a good 4-car battle here, although from what we've seen so far from Van der Wittenborg, I suspect he will be pushing as hard as he can to try and get away from them. And let's see if he can manage it. Although that is a 10-second gap he's got to Stuart Brown in third. He has got a lot of work to do if he wants to get onto that podium this evening.
Yes, so this will be interesting as they sort of, when they come out onto the start-finish straight, and Atif in his Ferrari up in second place, the filling in the BMW sandwich between Windsor, who's cleared off into the distance, out in first place. He's 5 seconds clear of these two, and obviously Brown in third place. Obviously after that slowdown, which cost him just so dearly early on.
Yeah, exactly. And as we see here, this fight between Atif and Brown, they're sort of in no man's land, really. They're going to be fighting for second. I don't think, with how Windsor's driving, they're going to have a realistic chance of catching him up without a mistake. So they can really afford to fight quite hard here with the gap behind them. As we go back to watch the Foster-Burridge fight, as we see the overtake here from Foster. He's going to have the inside into Tamburello.
Talk about giving each other lots of room there, Chris. Literally on the opposite sides of the track to one another, and there we go. Foster just using the V10 of that Audi to get past there.
Yep, as we go back to the Atif Brown fight, as they come down into Ravazza. Oh, sorry, that's not Ravazza, that is Piratella. I think they'd like to be that much further on the track and that much closer to the finish. I mean, it's been very warm the last few weeks. I can imagine these guys are finding the conditions very tricky, as we see just how hard Stuart Brown is pushing there. Oversteer on the exit of Acqua Minerale as they come down into the chicane at Variante Alta. Just see how much they close up there. They get so close to each other, and you really have to hammer these curbs to get the best kind of times in these cars. Again, coming from an open wheel background, especially the Formula Renault 3.5, looking at going over those curbs, that would be the end of a race in those kind of cars, but these GT3s are made of stronger stuff.
Especially that BMW, it's absolutely brilliant on the curbs. It's just so stable, and I mean that's what's made it just so dominant. Spa 24 and obviously in the open the official sessions recently, it's been absolutely brilliant car to drive. But at the moment, just that Ferrari, just the straight line grunt of it, just seems to be at least allowing Atif to keep Brown at bay at the moment.
Yeah, you saw that Brown, he stuck his nose out. He was signalling that he wanted to go for the move, but he just hasn't been able to get the straight line advantage, even with the slipstream, to go past that Ferrari. I mean, that Ferrari's been known for years for its straight line speed. That's why you always see so many of them at Monza, aside from, again, the Italian connection. But Atif is doing really well here to keep Brown behind him, considering the advantage Brown's going to have with that slipstream, and obviously the security of knowing he's got that 10-second gap to Wittenborg, who hasn't really, I mean, he's matching these guys for pace, which, considering they're battling, they're doing very well to keep that gap. 10, always, we see very wide for Atif.
It's really hotting up now. The gap down to under 2 tenths. The BMW, where Imola's almost the tale of two stories, and that BMW, I think that might even be a bit of a slowdown as Atif runs really, really wide, and he's pulled towards the side. Yeah, that's cost him. That's cost him, and that's released Brown through. With Imola, obviously through the more technical sections, so you come out through like Villeneuve, through Tosa, Pittarella, Acqua Minerale, Variante Alta. The BMW really shines through there, but obviously when you've got much faster sections, namely along the start-finish straight, that straight line speed of that Ferrari just really comes into play, and that's what was allowing Atif to keep Brown at bay. But now Brown's been released from Atif. He's already a second clear thanks to that slowdown that Atif incurred. It's just, I think we're going to see Brown possibly pull away now. As we look back down to the battle between Brammer and Foster, and Foster, I was a little bit surprised. I thought he would have extended the gap a bit more here, Chris.
It's done very well to keep within touching distance of Foster there, considering Foster how high up he was before he had his spin. He's not managing to get away, and another one, he's got a 10-second gap into the lead, into the guy in front of him. But as we've already seen in the first 15 minutes or so, plenty of people are going to have incidents just because of the technical nature of the track. So it's not all over just yet. There's still vital positions to be gained. As we're now looking at the Turner-Davis battle, these are the two closest cars on the track. And they're being sensible. We're going to ride on board with Davis here, just to see what we've got that Turner car in front, just for company. It's it's kind of nice in a way to have that car just in front. You're not having to panic a huge amount about adjusting your braking points because they're so close. You can really analyse how the driver in front is taking these corners. So if you do get closer, you can maybe make one of those moves as we come into, I think we can all agree, the hardest corner on the track of Aqua Minerale.
Yeah,
Both negotiated that very nicely. Although I say that, this is the other hardest corner on the track. I'll probably say this for the whole lap. Again, big chunk of curb there. I think Davis has been more aggressive on the curb for the second part of that chicane there. But if you're less aggressive as Turner was, it allows you to get the power down that little bit earlier. And as you're seeing, he is actually just getting that slight bit of gap now to come down into Ravazza. Very tricky braking point because it's downhill. And you can see the different lines the two drivers take there. Davis again being a bit more cautious and taking more curb on the inside at the actually leaving Ravazza. But again, he's not been able to get the power down early, which means that Turner is going to be pretty secure. And if you look at the timing tower on the left, Davis is catching up, but by hundredths of a second at a time. That's not enough to get him close enough into Tamburello here. So they're matching each other for pace, and that's despite Davis having all of that slipstream down the main straight and being in a Ferrari.
Looking at it, Chris, we've got 15 minutes to go right now. There's still plenty of time for Davis to just, maybe just probe Turner a bit and just squeeze him and put him under pressure, make him take, as we see here, Turner really take a very shallow line into Tota there, and allowing to, he's not going to get the best of exits out there. I mean, it's not really, like you were saying earlier in the race, Chris, it's not the easiest part of the track, if at all, to overtake around this sort of section as they round Piratella now and head down to Aqua Minerale. So I think he's probably just got time to just, take a bit of stock and just put him under pressure and allow Turner Millin to make the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we saw with Brown and Teef earlier. That's exactly what happened. It's, you make that slight mistake, get that car closer, and while you're not going to be able to overtake them, we saw a Teef run slightly wide on the exit of Aqua Minerale and have to take that slowdown, and that's how Brown got past. And just to show you how fast Brown is going, he has cleared a Teef by 3 seconds already. That was only about 2 or 3 laps ago we saw that overtake. So perhaps we could see a similar thing between Davis and Turner later on in the race. If he can keep applying the pressure here. He's a lot closer this lap than he was last lap though. He's about 2/10 closer. So is that going to make the difference as we come along the main straight now?
Chance to utilise the V8 and that Ferrari 488 and just see if we can just close the gap. Here he goes, going left, he goes right. He's absolutely all over the back of Turner Millin. He's gone defensive in that Lamborghini, and now he's going to see a similar move where he's going to run the outside, but no, he shut the door and drifted his car out wide there and made that Lamborghini as wide as possible. And this meant Davis has had to drop her back a little bit and go Turner Millin as he comes around Villeneuve now, has got a little bit of chance to take a bit of breath, but here comes Davis again. He's just keeps coming back at Turner McMillan's Lamborghini, and he's absolutely all over the gearbox of him and just won't let him rest at all.
Yeah, this is very clean, very high quality driving from both of them. Neither of them have been pressurized into making a mistake from being so close to each other. So again, like here, this is where you'd be hoping to put that pressure on to see if you can force that mistake. But Turner McMullen is pretty unflappable as a driver, so it's going to take a bit more than a couple of not half-hearted to maybe harsh. I think actually, if anything, Davis was quite sensible to back out into Tamburello because he could have tried to outbrake him and stay level, but it's not worth the risk, especially with still 13 minutes to go. That's really a last lap kind of thing you try there. Like we saw some of those cheeky taps early in the race, you normally expect to see them later on when we all get a bit more desperate. I think we've all been there. We can all relate to it.
Oh, we have. We have. I mean, the thing is, with yourself with the open wheelers, you can't get away with it as much as what you can in the tin tops, where you can afford to bang wheels a little bit more and not worry about completely destroying your suspension or losing a wheel at all. So here we go. Davis, he's got the slipstream. He's going to line him up again as they come down to Tamburello. He's gone wide to the right-hand side. Turner McMillan's gone incredibly defensive again, and it looks like he's going to run exactly the same move. Says, no, you don't. You're not going to try and do that one again. I'm going to do exactly the same. And Davis just not having a reply, but he's incredibly close, and he's now showing the front end of that Ferrari and as they enter into Villeneuve, but that's not really the best place he's going to be looking to overtake. I think maybe just sit back, and Davis really seems to be pressuring Turner McMullen here into. Oh, there we go. That's it. He's pressured him, and that's it. He's gone. He's just tried to get on the accelerator maybe a little bit too quickly, and it's over rotated the car. That's Messenger come through in his Porsche, and here comes Foster. He's going to get back through as well. And Turner McMullen, he's so unfortunate there. He obviously, after the slowdown earlier, lost all those places and then regained them all through luck. And he's back down the field yet again.
Incredibly frustrating when that happens, and there's not a huge amount he could have done because even the best drivers, after lap of pressure, and that's why I like to see drivers just stick their nose out like he did coming into Villeneuve. Just sort of slightly put the driver off, and that's what's happened there going around Toaster. I think your adrenaline's pumping, you end up making these minor errors, and it really does not take much to lose these cars. You do have to drive incredibly well to keep them on the track. And one interesting thing that's developing, the last 2 laps, Stuart Brown has caught up to Rob Windsor by nearly 2 seconds. So we could have a fight for the lead in the next few minutes, the rate this is going.
So last time around, lap 11, Brown was the fastest driver on the circuit. He set the fastest lap of the race, 1:43.24, and he was like nearly, well, just over a second quicker than Windsor last time around. And like you say, Chris, this could be his chance of catching up with him and trying to squeeze and put a bit of pressure. He's got 10 minutes to go, so that's what, round about 8 or 9 laps left to go. But at that rate, going to be on the back of him.
Yeah, and if I'm Rob Windsor, I'm beginning to get very nervous because he's had quite a simple race so far, and he's just been running it nice and calmly. And I think we've all seen it in real life racing and on iRacing before. If you're a lead driver and you've not had to be pushing throughout the race, and then suddenly you do have to. I mean, we kind of saw it at Silverstone in the F1 the other week when Hamilton was catching, and you just think there's not a huge amount you can do when you've got a driver behind you that is just relentless with their pace. And I'm sure Brown will be pleased with me comparing him to Lewis Hamilton. He can thank me later. Hopefully, for his sake, he'll hope he can get the race done the same way Lewis did last weekend.
You saw Windsor as he came round very anti-alta, really getting the back end out on that BMW M4 and almost drifting it round the chicane. And he definitely seems to be feeling that bit of pressure now. And Brown in a prime position. And just looking at the lap times, yeah, Brown goes quicker, 3/10 quicker last time around compared to Windsor. So it's definitely closing that gap up. And he said, yet again, another fastest lap of the race. Brown definitely a man on the move and do everything in his power for that red and black BMW to really close up the gap and pile on the pressure to Rob Windsor.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting battle because it's one thing catching a car, it's another thing to get past them, especially here at Imola. And we can't, unlike with some of the other moves, we can't blame it on car difference because these guys are both in the BMW.
Yeah, they are, and it's just Brown right now just seems to be taking, chunks out of Windsor. It's a 10th here, a 10th there, and it's really closing the gap. The gap now down to around about 8/10 of a second now. Hardly anything to separate these two. And you think, Brown had about 3-4 second lead before that, and they're going to be coming up to a back marker. It'll be Dave Burridge in his Porsche, and I think somewhere Joe Mullins had a bit of an incident. We'll see if we can catch a replay of that and what happened to him. There we go. That's the previous one. Let's have a look. So that's round Tosa there, isn't it, Chris? And oh yeah. He's had a massive bit of snap oversteer, corrected it there, and had to go straight into the barrier. And hopefully that's not going to occur too much damage for him.
Just to sort of carry on the Lewis Hamilton theme, Sean's just said in our ear about he's done a Lewis Hamilton, if you remember from last year in the F1.
Yes, of course, and all that rain-soaked Imola where wasn't short on drama. And yeah, again, as we return to Imola, not short on drama here is now Brown. He's got the gap down to 2/10, and Windsor, he must have got a slowdown because he's just let him through there. He just let him clean through.
Windsor's not thinking about the TV viewers there.
No.
He's thinking about his own point tolls.
We wanted fight to the finish as we now cut to Foster and Messenger here. And Foster using the power of that Audi's V10 to get past the flat six of the Porsche of Warren Messenger there. And but obviously the Porsche will come in more into play in the more technical parts. It's a probably great handling car, but we head back to the front, and well, hopefully Rob is better at following, and somewhere off camera, a team's come off the track. Let's have a look, see what happened to them. All by himself, Chris, and looks like he's into Villeneuve here, and a bit too much curb on the inside, yeah, and then catches the sausage curbs on the inside, and slaps the car straight onto the inside, and that's going to cost him dearly. He's already lost a place by the looks of things to, Van der Wittenborg, and also John Davis as well. And he's lost his bonnet as well.
I think he's pitted.
He has. Wow, I mean, that car had so much damage. I'm not sure what the steering would have been like after it either, but clearly a team being that car is not drivable, and he's taking it straight to the pits there. And such a shame. He was having a great race there, Chris.
He really was, and I think as a TV viewer, Villeneuve does look relatively innocuous compared to some of the corners on this track. But if you get that entry ever so slightly wrong or carry too much speed, go over that curb like Atif did, and you can see the consequences are disastrous. And he'll be very frustrated because that was 25 minutes of really good driving from Atif, and he's going to have absolutely nothing to show for it, which is a real shame for him.
It is, obviously he was up in he was where just trying to think.
He was third, yeah.
Place. Yeah, a little world of his own, plenty of space, behind him, in front of him, under no threat, and just one slip of concentration, just turning that a little bit too soon, and settle the car so much, as you said, Chris. With Villeneuve, it's such a tricky chicane, and it doesn't really look like it on camera, but if you get the first part of it wrong, what with that looming wall on the outside of the second part, it just sends you careering into it.
Yeah, it's very easily done, although it's very easily done throughout this circuit. It's like I was saying earlier, you could just say every corner is the hardest corner, except for maybe that phantom turn one that's on the main straight, although we've still seen people crash there on lap one, so it's just a death trap of a circuit, basically.
I've seen a bit of F3 here, and they seem to like their crashes, and like you say, they seem to have done it on turn one, that sort of kink on the start-finish straight, and pretty much every other corner as well. But they seem to think that they're bashing doors, and Windsor's headed to the pits, Chris.
Yeah, I wonder what's happened here. He was running so strongly, and perhaps he's run out of, he can only be fuel, surely. I don't know how he'd done that, because they can have maximum fuel in the tank, but it doesn't seem to be damaged either, and there is nothing on our broadcast software.
There we go.
Saying, yeah,
up it goes. There we go. A splash and dash to get him home to the finish, but that's now elevated Van der Wittenborg and John Davis up onto the podium. And Windsor, he's just come out now. He's brought him out in 5th place behind James Foster in that pink Audi. So he's gone from within a couple of laps from 1st place all the way down to 5th, and I think that's got to be why he was letting Brown pass, as Messengers now come into the pits as well.
Yeah, it does seem like the drivers might have miscalculated on their fuel levels, although as we see a replay, this might well be why Messengers had to go in the pits. And
nice little drift. He's kept it out.
Oh, that's excellent save.
Maybe a little kiss of the barrier with that rear quarter panel, but other than that, a beautiful little drift through the gravel trap, and he's like you say, I think he's been in the pits for quite a while now, so maybe incurring a bit of extra damage rather than just fuel, just based on the amount of time he's still in the pits now, and as Stuart Williams has gone past him for 9th place, and he's still sat there now, so it's got to be a bit more than fuel there, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a few off tracks throughout the race, so perhaps there was some cumulative damage going on there. But it's sort of unfortunate, because we saw earlier with Foster going off, and you think, well, that's his race done. He's sort of not in contention for a strong finish, but here he is back up in 4th, And with Davis and Van den Wittenborg here,
Hold
if
on,
these
Chris.
two have tangle again, they could easily crash into
Well,
each other, and
if
Foster's then
something's
second.
happened between these two, because Davis has got himself past Van der Wittenborg off camera somewhere, because he was in third place. Well,
Yeah, that
see if
looks like that's happened a while ago, perhaps.
we'll see if we can cut to a replay of that one, as we've got Foster in his Audi. He's into the pits as well now, so maybe a few splash and dashes happening. So that's out of Tozer, I think there, isn't it, Chris?
That's a
That's
spectacularly brave move. That is
it's going to
very
take
well
it
done.
round the outside. Excellent move there. And maintains it, doesn't leave the car, obviously, where it becomes a little bit unsettled as you go across the brow of the hill. A brilliant move by John Davis in his Ferrari. We've got Foster in the pits as well now, so that's clearly it's going to be fuel for him as well. So, despite it being a sprint race, a few of our drivers have misjudged the fuel here, Chris.
Yeah, there's no mandatory pit stop in this race. They could have fueled to the finish, and I'm sure they all wanted to. But you know, it's a racing driver's spirit. It's in the pursuit of that extra tenth of a second per lap, they'll quite happily underfuel and then just pray. And it seems to have bitten a few of these drivers tonight. And we're going to have one more lap, it looks like, as Brown comes onto the main straight with 40 seconds to go. So he's going to have to hope that he's got enough fuel for this last lap, because he's got a 27-second gap back to Davis. He's done very dominant. Nearly crashed into the back of Williams there, the number 50, as he goes past him to lap him. But you want to take it very carefully now. He's got one more. Oh dear, it looks like he might have run out of fuel. Or does he think that's the end of the race?
No, Brown crashed. Let's take a look at what's happened here. He just seems to have.
I really hope that Brown ran out of fuel and didn't think that was the final. He'd finished. He's still got one lap to go.
I'm trying to have a look. I think looking at the dash there, Chris, he's trying to start it, but I'm sure looking really closely, I think that he's run out of fuel there, Chris.
He has, and that's now promoted John Davis into the lead. That's,
no! That's a Porsche off there. Who's that? That was I think that was Dave Burridge, wasn't it, in the background there? And all of a sudden, this race has come to life. And John Davis, out of nowhere, up 11 positions, now finds him with around about half a lap to go at the top of the podium.
Just see another car in the background there going smashing into the barrier. It's been
it's
surreal last few laps.
We've got Jota McMillan's in the pits, Brown's into the pits. Obviously mentioned with his fuel, under fuel in the car. And you even said about it, Chris. There's Warren Messenger taking a one-way ticket to the barriers as well. Out of wow, it all seems to be going on.
Brammer's had to pit as well. So our number 1 and number 2 drivers are the only drivers that haven't actually had to pit, and of course they've still got half a lap to go. So do we know for sure that they've got enough fuel? Could we?
Well, I think we will find out in half a lap's time, Chris. I think that, you know, maybe a little bit of lifting coast and just cruise across the line, and they'll be edging it bit by bit, or have they fueled it enough as they just come round very anti-Alta for the last time and into first of the Ravazzas, and we'll now find out. But John Davis looks like he's going to make it a home victory for Ferrari in the sprint race as he rounds out Ravazza and heads down to the start-finish line. That Ferrari's not slowing down, so he's made it on fuel as he takes the... Waiting for him to come... There we go, he's taken the checkered flag. A win for Ferrari at the home of Imola. Enzo Ferrari, obviously named after the circuit, named after him. He'll be having it. Tim Van Wittenborg in his Mercedes comes in second. Windsor climbs up to third in that BMW after leading for so much of the race and managed to claw back a podium position. And they've got a bit of a wait, so there's a gap down to Pearson's Ferrari in fourth. And well, I wasn't expecting that, Chris.
I mean, I wouldn't say that race had many dull moments, but I certainly wasn't expecting the last 5 minutes to go as, I would say, surreal as they went.
Yeah.
I mean, when Rob Windsor goes in the pits on lap 15 and you're thinking, well, that's his race ruined, and he's ended up on the podium still. So as frustrated as he'll be to not get the win, that's still a very good result considering he did have to pit in this sprint race.
Clearly, he obviously saw that he was going to make it and rolled the dice and went for the early pit stop. But I'm so surprised about Stuart Brown. Obviously, he was coming past the pits. Why not just drop in and stick in a couple of litres to get yourself home? But Instead, whether he just missed it or thought he'd get away with it and be on to his final lap, and it's cost him dearly.
It really has, yeah. And as Sean has said in our ear, we all need a crew chief. I think a special shout out should go to Nick Allen in chat for being on pun patrol, because he said no win for Windsor, lol. There's been a few others. If we just scroll back up, Joe defending Turner by turn there was earlier as well, which I thought was
that's a classic.
a classic. Yeah, you're right there. At one point, the Twitch moderator bot thought he was a bot because it was moderating his comments. So that's clearly, there's anti-pun moderation going on there, which might be for the greater good. Who knows?
Well, if you've heard some of our puns before, Chris, those probably is for the greater good. So to realise that your classified results, John Davis, an incredibly surprised, I think, for everyone involved, probably himself as well, takes the win in his Ferrari. Tim van der Issenborn comes in second in Mercedes. Windsor climbs back up to third place after leading so much of the race in his BMW. Stuart Pearson's Ferrari fourth. Stuart Brown comes in fifth in the end in his BMW. James Foster's pink Audi is sixth. Brammer's Ferrari 7th, Williams and Burridge, 2 Porsche drivers, 8th and 9th. Joe Turner McMillan, disappointing from him in the end, finishes down in 10th place. Warren Messenger, 11th, Atif 12th, and that rounds out your grid, obviously, with Nathan Willoughby not making it to the grid. And let's take a quick look at the championship, and wow, what that does for Finn van der Wittenborg. Takes him to the top of the championship standings on 70 points now. And also look at John Davis, elevated 15 places thanks to that race win. Takes him into third place. Obviously, Andreas Boder dropping, not with us tonight, so dropping down to second place. Rob Winston's fourth, Edmondson fifth, Brammer sixth, Lebet 7th, Pearson 8th, Morgan Driscoll 9th, and Shane Abbott rounds out your top 10 in the championship standings. Wow, I don't know if I think James is he's not far away if he hasn't already joined us in the commentary booth. James, what do you think to that one?
Well, I'm going to be honest, I only caught the last 5 minutes, but it seems like a pretty good job that I did, to be honest, because there was so much going on in the last 5 minutes. People running out of fuel, people going off, it was chaotic.
It certainly was. I don't know whether that's your influence from the F3s, Chris, bringing it across to GT3s. Hopefully not.
I haven't driven an F3 in a season now, so that can't be it.
Well, you do the commentary, so I think we'll blame you, and it's made all the drivers a bit giddy and overexcited on the how little fuel they want to try and get away with.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened there, and I think that'll be the next time you catch me is on Tuesday for F3, because they shall be back. I should really know whether I do this every single commentary. I have no idea where we are. Looking at the calendar, we're at Spa, which is I'm sure many of our drivers will be desperate to drive there, having hardly driven there at all in the last 7 days.
Definitely, but I think it's very rare. I think that the F3 goes to Spa, so I think especially plenty of chance for slipstreaming. I think it could be interesting. I think producer Sean's just said that they're about the same speed as the GTEs, and we see how they get on around there.
Yeah, it should be good. The officials have been there the week just gone, and I've watched a few of my mates driving in it. There's been. I think it would be kind to call it chaos. It's been far worse than that. But after the first few laps have sorted them out, we've seen some incredible racing from the officials. And I'd like to think in a league setting, we'll see a bit more respect between the drivers, and we should have an excellent race on Tuesday, hopefully.
So just catching up with the Twitch chat, DPI Hours of Rolex Daytona, Op Wizard, Ped13R, Brew Crew 63, thank you for follows, or Broomy 1988 as well. Thank you for all of your follows. As these guys have done, obviously feel free to give us a follow on Twitch. Also subscription. The community is completely free of charge, and all these leagues are there put together, so they're completely free to enter. If you fancy joining our community, as Chris mentioned, we run leagues for F3. Obviously, you've seen GT3s at the moment, but we do absolutely all sorts. I know there's a TCR League in the pipeline. There's a Radical League currently being run. We run the Friday Fun as well, where something different is thrown up every Friday. And I'm just trying to think if we covered all the leagues there, Chris. Oh, of course, Porsche Cup has been our good friend Nick Allen in the chat, and is covering, and that's throwing up some absolute brilliant racing so far. So yeah, if you'd like to join the community, head across to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/iRacingUK. You can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram, where we are IRUK_team. And like I say, give us a like and a follow, or subscribe over on YouTube as well, where we now broadcast onto as well. And just waiting for as we switch across between the two different sessions, and we'll be picking up the main race. And Chris, what are your predictions for what's going to happen in the main event?
Well, hope those drivers have watched the first race and checked their fuel loads. Otherwise, you're in for a very interesting time in about an hour, or whenever the last 5 minutes of this race will be. Good luck if it is as chaotic as this one, with, I imagine, a much bigger grid, which is where Imola really gets chaotic as well. Like, it was quite nice with 12 cars. You still got enough of a race going on, but less chance for absolute carnage in terms of them going into each other. We still saw a few cheeky taps, but it was relatively clean. I suspect this one might not be so, especially as we often seem to find drivers who sort of, I don't want to say they're of higher quality, but you know what I mean, where they're in that sort of pro category as opposed to the rookie category. Yeah. They tend to make some more aggressive moves because they think they are the reincarnation of Ayrton Senna. I'm not going to name names because it's all of them, but you know, there's probably going to be some interesting overtaking, shall we say, going on in this next race.
James, I would ask you who your favourite is, but I don't want to do that to the poor driver, because every time you've named your favourite, they've ended up crashing out and killing themselves. So I think, should we steer clear of that one this week, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm not going to go down. Unfortunately, everybody I pick crash out. So I'm just going to say that they're all going to win. They're all going to cross the line together.
Oh God. Wow, that means that we're probably in for a night of carnage. Hopefully not, then.
Well, let's hope, mate. It is the same, isn't it? Every week I pick somebody, and every week they go into a barrier, crash out, and end up at the back. So I'm literally, as you say, they're all going to. That's it. So that's my prediction.
Right, Chris, thank you for your time. Good spending with you, and we will catch you on Tuesday for F3.
Yes, and have a good evening, guys, and enjoy the race.
Will do. So we've got just under 2 minutes of practice left to go. Wow, I think it's time to take a little breather after, like you say, James, it was absolute pure carnage for that last 5 minutes.
It was the end, wasn't it? I don't even know what was going on. Like, literally, I just tuned in. Unfortunately, I just finished an endurance hour and a half in a radical race. Nice. And so I just managed to jump in for the last 5 minutes. It was a good thing that I did, really, because obviously they all went off at the end. So it was like, what was going on? How was the race anyway? Was it good?
It was, yeah, it was as usual, as always with GT3s, filled with drama, spice, and excitement. And yeah, I think we've got, you know, we've got likes of Armstrong and Greeley, who I know they'll be charging hard at the front end. Obviously, I know Albert, so I mentioned it before the sprint race. He'll be have one eye on the prize tonight with trying to pick this one out. Obviously, we've got the Jonathan Hitchin, who's always been strong, back again, obviously, in his Ferrari.
Yeah.
And, well, Peroni ran strong. Dom Roberts, he took part in the Spa 24 hours, as did so many of our drivers as well. A few of them not making it to the grid tonight. I know Ben Cullen, Paul Busby, Cy Anthony took part, as well as James Armstrong did. Many of the drivers, obviously, in the Spa 24 hours, and yeah, some great results. And also our producer Sean Cranley Swash, who's just about being kept awake by the action on track. Otherwise, might fall asleep in his keyboard at this rate. But yeah, we were raising funds for the Mind Mental Health charity. Last time I looked, I think we were up to about £1,600, which is absolutely brilliant result for a great charity. Obviously, we'll be entering teams into, looking forward to the next endurance, James, will be the Charlotte 4 Hour coming up in a few weeks' time. As we've just got the start of qualifying just about to kick off now here for GT3s. And yeah, that's a bit of an interesting one. That's the GT4s for the Charlotte 4 Hour, TCR, the Mazda MX-5, and the Cadillac CTS-V as well.
So that should be good then.
It shall be, yeah. It shall be. I think they'll definitely throw up a few spanners in the works, undoubtedly, and especially with the oval section, plenty of overtaking opportunities around there, down to the bus stop chicane as well, and yeah, I think it could be quite interesting. And we're going to catch on board Alberto Gravilli next time he comes around, and we'll catch on board with his hot lap, and we'll take you around the track. And obviously, Alberto making the switch from Lamborghini across to Porsche for this season. As we've seen from so many of our drivers this year, you know, looking down the list, we've got a fair few Ferraris in here tonight for their home race as well, James.
Well, that should be interesting, isn't it? Because we normally see a nice dominant Porsche grid. So if we've got others in, that should be good to see as well. So I can't wait for that. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. We've got a lovely mix. I think we're only literally just missing McLaren from the medley. So yeah, I think it'll definitely throw up some interesting results to say the least.
Definitely on that one. It's going to be an interesting evening.
Oh, isn't it always? Oh, Science has popped in. I've spotted. So he obviously mentioned one of our drivers who took part during the. I was going to call it Nürburgring, but that's what I did. It was during the Spa 24. And here we go. As Gravilli will ride on board him as he exits out of Ravazza and heads towards, well, along the start finish straight, which isn't quite straight. It's snakes right and then a left. So across the line he goes to get this hot lap underway through turn 1, which is a slight kink to the left and doesn't really have a name. And then comes down onto the brakes into Tamburello for the left-hander. Right-hander there, taking as much curve as you dare and looking to avoid those sausage curves on the inside there. Now accelerate hard down to Villeneuve for the left-hander. You see, this is really tricky where if you catch that curve on the inside too much, you've got that wall waiting for you on the exit. And then it's a short run down to Toes, this long sweeping left-hander, really slow. There's going to be lights that rear tyres up there as he heads up the hill to Piratella. We've got turn 8 here, this slight clink to the right. And here's turn 9 of Piratella's flowing fast left-hander. Where you can take a lot of the exit on that AstroTurf. And heading down now to 11 and 12, which is Aqua Minerale. Cuts across the inside in this slow, tricky right-hander. Where if you're not careful, it can carry you off onto the left and you incur a slowdown from that AstroTurf on the left side. And now down to Variante Alta. We saw the drivers in the BMWs taking a lot of curve there. Alberto Gravilli looking to do the same thing. Straighten the car up. Obviously a bit tricky on the acceleration with the Porsche with its engine being at the rear. It makes the rear want to swing round. Round 16 and 17. Here we go into Ravazza for the last time. The first section. There's the second part of Ravazza and then hard accelerator, utilising all the runoff on the exit. And then hugging the inside walls to the right-hand side, trying to take the path of least distance. And there we go, across the line for Gravilli. And that is good enough to put him on pole provisionally with round about 12 minutes to go of the session, clear of Peroni's Lamborghini by 1.1. Now, the fastest race lap in VRS is a 1:41.3. So Gravilli already in the track not fully rubbered in yet, making hay and heading towards some absolutely stunning timers. Tennant's Porsche, look at that, under a tenth slower. Look at our top three. It's hardly anything to separate them, James.
No, nothing at all. It's going to be an interesting one. But then again, we've already got Contos is not too far back after that either. So it's going to be exciting. Do you know what I mean? I think the top 4, 3 Porsches again. You know what I mean? Which is what we were, hoping about Ferraris and stuff. But There is a Lambo separating them with Peroni, so let's hope they can do something from there. Keep them separated.
Yet to set a time as well. He's got James Armstrong, one of our stronger drivers. Lee Green, we saw him do incredibly well last season as well. Di Anthony, he's really blistering over one lap, a real qualifying specialist. They're yet to set times, and of course your man Charlie Bebb, as well as he's just, I think he's just got across the line. No, he's yet to set a time as well. So plenty of our stronger, Jonathan Hitchin as well in his Ferrari, all yet to set a time. So I'm sure that top order is going to change quite dramatically within the next couple of minutes.
Well, we got left? 10 minutes.
10 minutes to go. And absolutely anything can happen.
Oh, definitely on that one. Definitely with a track like this as well. Anything.
Really's gone even quicker. Look at that. A 141.6.
Oh, he's done 141.6.
Really pushing it there. And with other drivers yet to set their laps, I think this could be quite interesting. Lebet's put his portion. He's gone up. Well, look at that. 141.7. The track's definitely getting quicker and quicker. And the first two rows is a complete and utter Porsche lockout at the moment. Oh, there we go. There's James Armstrong.
Yeah,
sticking on the front row.
In with his Mercedes. Pops it in there.
Slapping that in there just to break up the Porsches a little bit. And there goes Dom Roberts. Look at that. A 141.2. Wow, this really hotting up now. I'm excited for the rest of this qualifying section. The driver just keeps getting quicker and quicker here, James.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's definitely rubbing in well, isn't it? You know what I mean? What do you reckon? Do you reckon we're going to see a 140?
Oh, I think
we've got Roberts on a 141.2, Gravilli on a 141.6.
Well, and we just looking at it, we've still got Jonathan Hitchin yet to set a time, Charlie Bebb as well. So I'd never say. I've learned one thing with GT3s: never say never. Charlie Bebb's he's just gone 8th in his BMW, 142.1, which isn't exactly a slow time either. And yeah, I think here we go. Let's we'll just take a look at John Williams in his Porsche. Let's see where he manages to slot his in. He's he's just starting his hot lap. Ignore that one. And just having a bit of a look at the timing sheet as well. Look how dominant Porsche are yet again. 5 of the top 6. And then it's a 2 attempts gap down to Peroni's Lamborghini in 7th place. So
Charlie Bebb is BM, Bambo again, Porsche, Chatterton as well. Oh, yeah. Look at the good old Porsches.
It is. It's clearly
7 out of 10.
It's,
I need to give us a banner.
I think they're going to need a bit of a BOP put onto them and a bit of a weight penalty just to try and balance this out a little bit. But
yeah, chuck some ballast in the back, mate. Bags of sand, that would do the trick.
Yeah, a couple of paving slabs, you know.
Yeah,
tuck them in and around the
kitchen, the sink while you're at it.
Why not? Just throw that in for good measure as well.
Yeah, chuck in the kitchen sink, it's all done.
Just watching John Williams in his Porsche now as he comes around Aqua Mirale and heads down to Virianti Alta. And just having a look, his driver's obviously just taking a bit of stock. I think they've only got 2 laps. Just having a look at who's yet to set the time. Jonathan Hitchin, he's on a flight. I think he's had an off track on his first lap, so he's got one shot to try and get it up there and join the party with all the Porsches. And I'm sure he's going to definitely be in there to mix it up. As let's see what Williams does as he comes across the line any second. There we go, and that is a 143.3. So that's in amongst Bradley Hulse and Ollie Pimley for company there in the middle of the grid. So wow, yeah, it's anything to go. So we've got Jonathan Hitchin now, obviously one of our strongest drivers, winner of season 1 as well. Let's see what he can do with that Ferrari as he mounts really monstering the curves on Virianti Alta there. I think that's possibly going to be an off track there, James. What do you think?
Yeah, he took so much curb there, dude. I think he definitely got an off track.
think, man, there we go. I think it's gonna. Oh, look, Keith McKenna there. That's off track. I think that's it gone. And wow, that's well. If the others weren't, that definitely was. So, based on this, James, that means he's going to be down in 48th place. Wow.
8.
Yeah. 48th. So right down on the back row of the grid. Possibly, Stuart Bickley's been unable to set a time. So we're going to have those two guys on the back row of the grid. But wow. Oh, that's Stephen Hughes. As he came round Ackerman Riley, just
off, wasn't he? Lost it.
Pushing it a bit too hard there. He's got Alan Lever, one of our last of our drivers now to try and put a time in. And actually, well, keep one eye on Keith McKenna. He's on his last lap. Oh, there he is. And he won't be going any faster, definitely, after that one.
Definitely will not be going anywhere else.
No, I think that is... let's take a little look. Oh, he's lost it and way in. That Persh's got the squiggle on. There we go.
I got to agree with producer Sean there, mate. There was a lot of violent steering wheel going down.
Yeah, an off track just saw a lot of frustration kicking in there, and yeah, I think Stephen Hughes is the last guy to come across the line. Let's see what he can do. Oh no, he's coming to the pit, so I think he looks like he's abandoning his lap. Ollie Pimley was the only other driver to not set a lap time, and let's have a look. We've got Bradley Holt. He's just finishing off his lap. Let's see if he can elevate himself. Currently 28th on the grid. And be interested to see whether he can elevate himself at all. But I don't think he has. No, and that's not... I think that's it pretty much for all of our drivers with 3 minutes to go. And look how tight it is at the top there. 3 tenths, 5 thousandths of a second Armstrong from Greeley. And then... it's just so tight, literally, from Gravelli in second, all the way down to Keith McKenna in 7th place. Around about a tenth of a second, well, 2 tenths of a second, just covering those
2
guys.
tenths.
Hardly anything cutting these guys.
But then if you go down further than that, you've got Peroni, Bebb, Bamber, Channerton, Contos, Taylor, Goslin. And only when you hit 15th, you've got half a second again between the next, 2, 4, 6, 8 people. So, yeah, there's quick drivers all over the place, isn't there, really? And there's nothing to choose between them.
One that surprised me is Cy Anthony. He's down in 23rd place. Normally he's a bit of a one-lap specialist, is Cy. That's surprising to see him so far down the grid. I know he'd be disappointed with that one. Great result from David Lowson. He's in 19th place, and Chris Hitchin as well in 16th place. Chris running the made a switch from BMW to Lamborghini for this season. I think he probably wishes he stuck with the BMW based on his pace at Spa. And obviously David sticking with the Ferrari yet again, but it'd be great to see the straight line speed of that Ferrari cutting through on the finish straight. And James, you ready for one of your speed grids to get through everyone?
I've taken a big breath.
So, ready?
No,
it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone off the screen.
I didn't read it quick enough, clearly.
There we go. Go.
Right, so we've got Dominic Robertson first, Carilli second, Armstrong third, Lobet fourth, Tennant fifth, Pratt sixth, McKenna seventh, Peroni eighth, Bebb ninth, Bamber 10th, Channerton 11th, Kontos 12th, Taylor 13th, Goslin, Johnson, Hitchin 14th, 15th, 16th respectively. William 17th, Cheryl 18th, Lowson 19th, Chris 20th, Wiley 21st, and
let's just wait for producer to move it down. There we go.
Oh no.
There we go.
Hill 22nd, Cy Anthony 23rd, Watt 24th, Holloway 25th, Cox 26th, Bacon 27th, Hoff 28th, Williams 29th, Pimley 30th, Stonehouse 31, Smith 32, Edis 33, Lever 34, Luca 35, Gee 36, Jennings 37, Smith 38, Armstrong 39th, Stringfellow 40th, and Green in 41st.
that's not everyone. There's still another 10 to go, mate. Here we go.
I'm trying. Hughes is 42, Friendly 43, Truby 44, Farrell 45, Davis 46, Colin Wynn is 47. I know Colin's knackered. I've just spoke to him. Hitchin in 48, Bickley in 49. Is that one more?
That is
That's it.
That's your lot. And they haven't even started yet, James.
Woo! Success this week.
Getting good at this.
Get quicker and quicker.
Alistair C95, thank you for the subscription on Twitch. Thank you for that. I'm just having a bit of a... Yeah, of course, everyone else.
Right.
Right. So because everyone who we just seems to die off in the chat, sticking now who you're supporting and who you think is going to take the victory tonight. And wow, I think it's be great to see how Armstrong gets out. He's surrounded all over the place by Porsches, and drivers start to head off now. I think there's. I think it's going to be really interesting though for me. Jonathan Hitchin in that green and yellow Ferrari with the Union Jack on the rear three-quarter. Watch him sieve through the field.
You reckon he's going to?
Well, he's really, really quick. I just can't see any. I just got this feeling he's really aggressive as well with getting past cars. So I think it's gonna be interesting. But here we go, guys. Get ready. Head to the start line because in 1, 2, GT3 is go. And we've got a great start for all the drivers. Look at all those Porsches streaming through. But look at Armstrong. He's gone into the inside. It looks like he's going to pick up a place. He's got past Gravilli, but Gravilli's fighting back. But no, he's slotted that Mercedes. He's using it. It's run all the way through. And now Gravilli's under attack by Tom Tennant. And Gravilli's going to have to go into the defensive as they enter into Villeneuve for the first time. We've got Farrell off track. We've got Trevor Davis has come off track as well. We'll see if we can catch up with those guys in a minute. And look at there's Bebelf in the distance. And he's going to be so close. Hopefully he didn't manage to collect anyone there. And we see the drivers come in the background there, coming round Tozer as our front runners head round. Piratella for the first time. Dom Roberts already 6/10 clear of James Armstrong, and he's got Gravilli behind him, another 6/10 as well. This seems to have got, everyone seems to have got away pretty cleanly. Jonathan Hitchin has had an incident at the back somewhere. He is up to 40. Well, he was up to 45th. He's now dropped a couple of places. We'll be keeping one eye on him and how he makes it. He's all on his own now.
All on his own, Tim. His rear right tyre just went round. And somebody went off avoiding him as well. Who went off with him? There was two, wasn't there? There was he went off and then somebody else went.
Not too sure who that was with them, but we'll see if we can
who went off with him?
One. Here's the Neil Smith incident. Let's see what happens to Neil here. He's in his Mercedes. Oh. He's not too. That was one of the Lamborghini stopping right in front of him there and catching him out. I think it was Lebet there. As sorry, it's Lebet. Oh, and he's really having a good tussle with Kiefer McKenna there. As McKenna's just managed to staying ahead for the moment. On the track, as we just watched the BMW of Austin William Campbell now.
Yeah.
And he's let's take a check in with Alberto Gravilli and see how he's getting on. He's second. He's down in 6th place currently.
Yeah, behind Lebert, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Yeah, he's got him just for company. And yeah, there's
Pratt behind him as well.
Yeah, it's holding up a bit of a train here of drivers. The top 4 ahead of them, as Dom Roberts sets the fastest lap of the race that time around at 1:41.7.
Love it.
Great lap from him in his spots, but we saw last season from Dom Roberts that he is a blindingly fast driver.
Yeah.
But I think he's been doing karts since he was age 8, so you would expect all of that knowledge coming into play and being able to use it. But look, Alberto Greeley's under pressure here.
What's that? It's really weird to see. He's got Pratt right up behind him. He's got Lebert in front of him, and he doesn't seem to be able to do anything.
No, he seems to be locked in to that battle at the moment. We've got Danny Gosling here. He's lost 3 or 4 positions, James. We'll see if
Do we know what happened? See?
We're not too sure. I think he just slowed down, maybe just getting caught a little bit, a bit of a slow exit on the corner. But with so many drivers right behind you, you can lose places so quickly. One tiny mistake can just cost you so dearly.
Pratt got past Gravile.
He has got past.
He got past him, didn't he?
He has. He's managed to get past him. Alberto, really, after a brilliant start qualifying, is really struggling now.
He's really struggling, isn't he? I don't know what's... Oh, he's run wide. He just...
I don't know whether he had a bit of a tap behind to send him on his way onto the grass, because he seems to be hanging it out wide onto the grass for quite a bit of a while.
Yeah.
So whether that triple four of Drat's
Look at Pratt go, dude. He's climbing all over Lebert, isn't he? He's
gonna send him on. Oh!
Did he collect anyone else?
No, I think he's managed to. He's managed to avoid him as he's now rejoined. He's just losing place after place. There goes Dave Loudon's Ferrari. And look at the damage on the rear end of that Porsche, James. Wow.
No, dude, did you see him? And all you could just envision is somebody coming around the corner. Is that Peroni's up as well?
Peroni's got a massive nudge there as they entered into. That's incredibly close to that region. They came round Tamburello, but that is Simon Bamber. Oh no, he's got a big slowdown as well. Since that gravel would have slowed down a little bit, you would have thought. But Pratt, he's from that incident, obviously it shook things up, and Gavili's managed to get past Joshua Pratt again.
Yeah, he got back up, didn't he? He got back up to 5th.
I tell you what, it'd be great if we could get a replay from some, like, a helicopter shot. We'll see if producer Sean can try and cue that one up for us to see exactly what happened in all the medley and how close that came to being a complete disaster.
I honestly thought that the Lebert was going to literally collect everybody as he was going right back across that track. I honestly thought it was just going to be carnage behind him.
How he didn't collect anyone, I will never know.
It just shows the quality of the drivers in the UK League, bro, that nobody collected Lebert on the way through, because he was right across that track. It looked like carnage.
Rob Armstrong's come off track and he's lost 3 places because of it. It just shows that where it's so tricky. We've seen where drivers, one little mistake can cost you so dearly in terms of places. Also, Contos has got past Pratt for P9 as well. As I think it's just. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look at Contos as he gets past Pratt. He's got a slowdown there, James.
He looked like he must have, because he eased off, didn't he?
Let's take a little look at what happened to Pratt. See, maybe. No, he's over. Pratt braked himself. Had to take evasive action and cut across the gravel. And he's lost 4 places because of it. No, 3 places because of it.
But would he get a slowdown for skipping the chicane as well?
Possibly he will do as well.
Yeah, because he went straight across the chicane, so he's going to get at least a second slowdown. I would have thought on that as well.
So we've got Peroni now in that white Lamborghini. He's got Jack Cheryl's Porsche, that red and dark blue Porsche ahead of him, and he's climbing all over the back of him at the moment. Only 4 temps between these guys. Just keeping one eye up the front end. Dom Roberts is sailing off into the distance, a 3.5-second lead clear of Tom Tennant. And take a little look at what's happened here.
I've froze.
I have as well. No. Here we go.
Is this Lopez?
This is where Lopez. Yeah. Let's see from the overhead view. Oh! Wow. That is very close there to collecting a lot of cars. That could have been that varnish for everyone following through as well. And
was that Peroni he missed? Did Peroni miss him?
I think so. No, it would have been Peroni. Yeah, a lot of the drivers actually managed to swerve and take evasive action to dodge past him luckily. But, James taking a lot of He took a lot of the curb. The curb's getting in the way there, but this is Laukeeper McKenna. He's going to get past. And now we've got another battle. It's Lebert.
Again. Tim, sorry, but Lebert is gone.
No! He's crashed! He's crashed! He's been taken out on the run-up to Viriat, up to San Morello. David, he is not going to be happy with that one, James. Wow.
Oh no! Poor Lebert
taking Holloway is carrying damage, and the tap. I'm not sure whose fault, whether he cut across the front of him, where there's a bit of chunk of netcode.
Yeah, if we go back there, Tim, did you see Holloway come onto the track, or was just that my camera that he flipped back on?
I'm not too sure, mate.
Not see him?
I'm not too sure whether I'm guessing he didn't see him, maybe, or
because it looked like Holloway disappeared. Oh no, we need to go back a little bit further.
I think he might have been tapped, maybe where he just cut it. You know, these drivers racing wheel to wheel so hard, and it looks like he's just taken a bit of a tap, and that's caused that accident. And something's happened to Armstrong's gone. Armstrong's gone. He's disconnected. Wow. Wow, Tim Darracott saying netcode punt to pass 200 IQ. Oh, Tim, I think you're not wrong there. We're just trying to queue up a bit of a replay, see what we can get here, and I think he's just cut across the front of him.
Yeah, he looked like he was there, didn't he? We're on board with John Williams. We saw it all.
Wow, and it was John Williams, I think, if he counting his lucky stars, he didn't get caught up and collected in that one.
It would not have been hard, would it, for Lebert to come back across and take him out.
But yes, something's happened to Armstrong. I've just spotted he's disconnected to the session. I think it might be from that could be a disconnect, so that could be where he's just carrying so much damage. He's jumped to the pits, according to my log, so let's maybe when we saw him take quite a bit of damage from bouncing across those curbs. It's such a shame to see him disappear out of the race. Let's take a little look. I'm looking for up and down the list. I think he might have gone as well. I'm trying to look for John Hitchin.
Armstrong. Armstrong losing it at Villeneuve and literally just putting it straight into the barrier.
Oh, such a shame for Armstrong there.
Let's just give a shout out to Rusty Racing, who subscribed for 4 months in a row. He's currently on a 3-month streak. Much appreciate Rusty. Thank you very much for that, dude.
Or lady, we have to.
Yes, sorry.
Yes, we have to.
Gender equality, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it just rights? What do we call it?
Well, we'll work that one out at some point, mate. Let's concentrate on the racing now. We've got Dan Taylor in that red BMW in the middle of, he's got Porsches in ahead of him. He's got Contos' BMW final for a bit of company. It's Simon Bambury's causing this bit of a train here, James.
We've got poor old Simon's there. He's got Chatterton, Taylor, Contos and Pratt behind him with Hitchin as well. He has got a bit of a stack going on behind him.
Talking of Hitchin, I've just managed to catch up on the list, and according to this, Jonathan Hitchin, he's up to 26th. He's battling with Watt at the moment by the looks of things, so he's up to 26th place. So he's climbed the order from the back row, clearly been helped out a little bit by some of the accidents. Here he is off by himself, but he's definitely a man on the move, following obviously that unlucky qualifying and getting those off the tracks and having his laps leading it. Here comes Bradley Holtz on Xander Hill, and that's very brave to try and take that into Villeneuve there, James.
Oh, well, that was going to either go two ways, wasn't it? He was going to get away with it, or he was going to end up in the side of it. There was no ins and outs about it on that one, was there?
No, those
He just literally just sent it and hoped that it was going to be adequate to get out of the way. But wow.
Oh, they're practicing.
Wow. Frank,
oh no, that's incredible.
No, come on.
Oh, Peroni in the slap bang in the middle of it yet again. He can't seem to cut. Well, he's got lucky every single time. If he had 9 lives, I think he'd be down to the last couple by now. But Bamba's he's just got Chatterton and Taylor behind him now. So what was 5 is now down to 3. The sharp
it's
end.
not third time unlucky for Peroni, Tim.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. And Holster's managed to get past Wiley for 20th place. Wiley also losing out to Edisford as well off camera. He's down to 21st now. Here we go. We've got a replay of it as here comes Holster. Going to be looks like a textbook move. I think, or has he had a slow down there? Yeah, possibly as they come. Oh, great lunge there by Chris Ediford in that BMW to get the move down into Ravazza.
He definitely took an opportunity there, didn't he? The door was open and he literally put it on the inside.
He grasped that with 2 hands. As you've got Dan Taylor's red BMW all over the back of that brightly coloured Porsche with those neon blues and pinks on that black background. That is Chris Chatterton, and right about 3 attempts and just having a bit of a look as well up and down the field. Looks like Jack Cheryl's at the front of a bit of a train as well. Let's we now check in with. There's trains everywhere, to be fair, as we now check in with Danny Gosling in his Mercedes AMG. And he is slap bang in the middle of this train right now. Which bringing up the rear is Dave Lowson in that Ghostbusters Ferrari, looking to stay in touch with these guys.
Breathe, Tim.
Well, can we? I don't know if we've got time.
I don't even know. Let's just take a moment.
Chatterton's got. We say that Chatterton's got past Bamber, and then he's fighting with Dan Taylor. He's slowed down.
Bamber's. Did he get slowed down now or not?
I'm not sure. I think he might have about got away with it. But he's got Josh Pratt. But now Josh Pratt's going to be climbing all over the back of him. We've seen how quick Josh Pratt is in that Porsche. And was that someone running against the wall in the background? I'm not sure who that was. But here comes Pratt and his Porsche. I think was that Contos off in the background there. We'll see what cuts that later. But Pratt's got the move done on Bamber. And within the space of a few corners, Bamber's dropped 3 places, James.
Oh, he's got to be kicking himself, isn't he?
He's got to be.
It's got to be.
Let's check out what happened to Contos.
On the grass.
On the grass. And there we go. Oh, he's managed to kept his foot in it, but he's done really well to keep it out of that wall and not rotate it and slap it into the left-hand side there.
Oh, he got so loud. The people behind him did so well trying to avoid him.
But Peroni's on the attack of Jack Sherrill, and Jack Sherrill looking really weak and vulnerable right now. And here he goes. He's really on the attack now as Peroni as they come up to Villeneuve. But look behind this whole string behind him. As well, I don't know where to look right now. We've got Dan Gosling as well keeping up in this train, and Dave Lowson as well, just tactfully just keeping his distance and letting these guys just
Taylor's coming up, isn't he? Taylor's closing in on Chatterton as well, and he's got Pratt behind him. Pratt's been involved in a couple of things, so let's hope it stays clean.
But with a bit of luck, I think it's just cutting through the replays right now. I think
Pratt is slid.
It's nothing to separate these guys. Pratt's obviously he's made his way up there and he's lost it, and then obviously had to fight his way back around. Murray Lucas come off track and had a bit of an incident. We'll see if we can catch it, check in with him and see what happened. Let's take a look at what happened to Luca. All the way around. There he goes. Oh, very nearly collected on the way back through there.
Yeah. He just lost it, didn't he? Took too much power.
Oh, but look, Cheryl's he's being absolutely swamped there. That's Peroni into the field. But no, he's going to get the move done there. An ambitious move from Peroni there. Oh, everybody wants a bit of Jack Cheryl as he's causing water trouble. Oh, no, Peroni's lost it. He's lost it. Peroni's lost it. And he's lost about 6 places there at least, James.
Oh, he's going to go to the back of the train, Tim, isn't he? The train.
Well, I think he's been ejected from the train. And there we go. Cheryl, he's on the attack. They enter. That's Williams. He's got the move done. That's down into Aqua Minerale, the first part of it. But Cheryl, it's a brilliant move, James. But Cheryl, he's really on the defensive. There's a head now up to Virianti Alta. And he's being absolutely swamped, his poor Jack Cheryl.
He just can't get going, can he? He's lost one. He just can't keep up with it.
He's running wide, but I think they're just trying to maintain any sort of momentum. He's got Danny Gosling's Mercedes right behind him as they head down to the first part of Rivazza, hard onto the brakes. This is where the Porsche should be good, just getting round these corners. But we know that Merc has got such great straight line speed, and he's got a few Ferraris swamping it behind him. We know they've got great straight line speed as well. Cheryl's gone defensive. He's already taken it to the left-hand side. Here we go. But no, there's Gosling. He's going to try and look to squeeze up the inside. He's going to have to go the hard way, go the long way round as they head down to the first up to Tamburello. But no, he's managed to defend it. Wow.
Poor old Jack Terrell has got to be sweating in his car, Tim.
Well, I think he's going to lost about 5 stone from the amount of sweat he's going to pour out after this.
He's just got swamped by everybody, and it's just, I don't even know which way you would go. Where would you go?
Well, I don't know, because he's got the 3 Ferraris behind him of Johnson, Lawson and Morgan Driscoll. And it's just, yeah, you see how great the Ferrari is in a straight line. But interestingly, William Campbell in that BMW hasn't managed to get away from Jack Cheryl, despite all the fighting that Jack's been doing.
The problem you got is he's going to get away, but then he's going to go drive defensive if Cheryl's going to catch him up again. Poor old Cheryl stuck in between a rock and a hard place, because if he takes his line, he could lose a position. And he drives defensive, he's only slowing himself down.
Yeah, he's done. He's just going to try and drive his line and just try and maintain it and hold it. But he's got Danny Gosling absolutely swarming all over the back of him. The mirrors of that Porsche has got to be completely filled by the front end of that Mercedes AMG GT.
I think Cheryl's just going to have to take a big deep breath, settle back in his chair, and just relax. Try and keep it.
Look, they've pulled out a little bit of time, but it's interesting for me. It's that 3-way Ferrari battle of Johnson, Lawson and Driscoll behind them. And they've now got, who's that, Kontos behind him in that BMW.
Kontos is coming back though, isn't he?
Here comes Lawson. Here comes Lawson. He's going to try and take it down the outside, down to Tamburello, and he's going to have to work. So he's got on the grass. Although he's managed to save it. Well done, Dave Lawson, and he did so well not to stick it into Morgan Driscoll there. But now he's left inside a bit of Driscoll. Remember, here comes Driscoll. He's going to be fighting to get that place, but Kontos just looming in the background there, waiting for one of these Ferrari guys just to make a mistake. But Lawson's on the attack again now. This is just they just yo-yo between one another, James. And look, he's run wide. He's run wide. Mark Johnson run wide in that red Ferrari, and he's just trying to carry as much momentum as possible. I think maybe that's why he's just allowed the car to run as wide possible.
The problem is when you've got a quick driver up behind you, Tim, you've got to take any lines that you could possibly get. And if that's how he's done it, then that's what he's got to do. But he's going to have to go some. Lawson isn't going to let him, he's not going to have a moment to breathe there, Tim. I think Lawson's going to be all over it very shortly. It's like going
to... Bradley Holtz has managed to get past Gary Truby further down the path. That's standing, I think that's 32nd. But just to give you a little bit of a... James Armstrong's just checked back in. He's resumed racing, but he's all the way back down. But talking to people who were down, Jonathan Hitchin starting in 48th place, up 30 places. Yes, 30 to 18th. Currently battling with Peroni, I think, there currently.
Who's that, Hitchin?
Kontos has come into the pits, James, as well. So we're now approaching sort of pit window time with 13 laps to go. And wow,
And Taylor's still got Pratt climbing all over him, Tim.
wow, yeah. I think this could go up. Wow, this GT3's man, and it could go any way. But look how he's swarming all over the back of him.
Yeah, he's literally climbing all over him, man. Taylor's not got a moment to breathe. These drivers, Tim, you've got to give them credit. The action and everything that's been going on to keep your cool and not sticking it into a gravel trap or sticking it into a wall is just literally insane.
Or even just hitting each other, James. You know, we've seen them drive wheel to wheel, ridiculously hard with one another, but completely fair, and they've avoided each other, and we've had so few incidents. It's been remarkable with with 49 drivers on the track, a tight track and the fast track that is Imola. And
He's gone round.
Damien G just lost it, got it onto the grass on the entry to Tozer there, and it sent him spinning round. And it's elevated Murray Lucas Mercedes up to 25th place, and that's Charlie Webb just going through there. And,
I think his tyre just went on the grass, didn't he?
Yeah, on the entry.
Down and off he went.
But look, these Jack Sherrill and Danny Gosling, they've caught up to Austin Williams, but they've also managed to trap the 3 Ferraris behind them as well. Pull out quite a bit of a gap here now. Oh, here comes Sherrill though. He's on the task, and he's already got the inside line. He's got it to the inside nice and early. But here's Danny Gosling looming in the background, but he's not going to be able to pick up any scraps, I don't think, this time. Into Tamburello. Wow.
I think Sherrill's just settling down now, and he gets
you said that. He's got to go defensive again. Oh, that's in the inside to Fielder. Williams has got it done. But Danny Gosling, he's had to take a little bit of face value. Here comes Sherrill again.
Sherrill, get on the inside.
He's taking a second bite at the Sherrill, as it were.
Hey!
And there we go. And he's going from into Tozer. Look, there's Gosling just looming in the background. And this could go anywhere. They've had to take it much slower to avoid each other. But this is going to allow Danny Gosling in that Mercedes to get a better run out into the very anti-outer. Sorry, Aqua Minerale. And Sherrill, he's lost it! Jack Sherrill! They lost it just onto the grass and lost it onto the inside.
Just ran wide. He put the power down and he just went round all on his own.
Oh, Jack Sherrill, after having the drive of your life, is so unlucky there. And now, look who that's behind him. It's, 2 cars behind him. That green and yellow Ferrari. It's Jonathan Hitchin up to 17th place. What a drive for him. I think it's only time for Xander Hill. There we go. We go. Another classic Hitchin move up the inside there. That's him done, and he's now got poor Danny Gosling. He's going to be licking his wounds a little bit. Gosling's in the pits. So Xander Hill. We got. That's the P2's clear. That's Tom Tennant clearing a back marker there. He's got Ethan McKenna right behind him, and I'm not too sure if that is their number 91. Just joining them for a bit of. Bit of company. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
It's back marker, Tim. Back marker.
Sorry. Just a bit clumsily getting out of the way there. Luckily, it hasn't affected the order of these two, Tennant and McKenna, the 2 Porsche drivers. Well, the podium. Well, actually, the top 5 now is all Porsche. Obviously, after James Armstrong's earlier incident. So we've got. Looks like the pit window is thoroughly open now, James. We've got loads of people in. Hill, Stringfellow, Watt, Luca all into the pits. Jack Sherrill as well. He's been in and he's come out again. He's in 16th place. If you're looking for get a bit of clear air and head up. Wow. But lead us in Dom Burris. He's in and Tom Tennant follows through.
No, he changed his mind. Yeah. He looked like he was going to go in behind you and he come back out again.
What? Wow, could this be an absolutely inspired move by Keith McKenna, just forcing the bluff here? This is his chance now, is some clean air to really get some lap times down and really close that gap up to Dom Roberts and see if he can get the overcut and the jump on some of them. But, wow, we reckon it's about 50 seconds in the pits while they're taking their pit stop. So it's got a bit of time to try and make up. But look,
McKenna, It's going to go some now, isn't he?
He's got to
It's
really,
got to.
it's got to hot lap it for
Yeah.
his life right now. How many times he'll go around, I'm not sure. He's got to do at least one. But with everyone, look at, you see from the timing tower on the left-hand side of your screen viewers, everyone diving to the pits. The pit window is well and truly open now, and he's just got to try and utilise this fresh, clean track, empty track, and this fresh air to really grind out some almost quali style laps.
Would you go in on the first one though, Tim, knowing that they're stage 3 for 50 already?
Ooh, he's bumped it across the curves. That's really not going to help him there, as he cleared that back mark. I can't remember who that was. I think that's Sander Hill. I think he just squeezed past there. And I think for me, while the track is still empty, I'd go round again. But let's find out what he does, James.
What time-wise is he doing though?
He's pitting.
He's got him.
So we're not going to understand the true lap time that he managed to put in. His car would have been up to temperature. So let's see. Let's keep an eye. Where is... So Dom Roberts is in 6th place. And he's got Tom Tennant, his 4 seconds behind him. So we've also got Chatterton in from 2nd place. Taylor, Dan Taylor, the BMW driver, in from 3rd. So currently Simon Bamber in the Porsche and Chris Hitchin in Lamborghini. I was about to say the only 2 drivers not to pit, but they've all come into the pits now. So here comes Dom Roberts. He's coming past the pit entry. Keith McKenna is heading out now. He's on pit exit. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so with the rate that Dom Roberts is going to come across. But he's going to close the gap up dramatically, and he's got the jump on Tom Tennant, definitely.
Yeah, he's
Look at that. He's closed the gap to 1.3 seconds there, James.
Yeah, he had an amazing in-lap, didn't he?
Now, McKenna he's looking at it, James. Looking at he was around about 3 seconds quicker on the pit stop time. So that's clearly had a big. Well, he's got to have taken less frail though, James, hasn't he? Surely, but then if he's gone longer into the race, he maybe doesn't need to.
He only went a lap, didn't he, Tim? He only went a lap longer, and is that 3 litres per lap? If he's taken 3 litres less,
right? No,
it can't be 3 litres, can it?
I don't think so. I think it's a shorter track. It's got to be probably maybe 2.5. So
if that, I think he's taken that on the understanding that he's got closer. But has he jeopardised himself with fuel at the end? And as we saw in this support race, they were running out all over the place.
But he had been running in the slipstream of Tom Tennant for a very long time, so he will have been able to save a little bit of fuel. As we check in now with Austin William Campbell in 9th place. He's got Danny Gosling sticking out the inside of Josh Pratt there. Great move by Danny Gosling, and finally to get a bit of a relief now, obviously after we saw the battle that he'd been having with Jack Sherrill. And
look, Tim, Hitchin 15 up behind Jack Sherrill.
I think he's going to get him here. Surely that Ferrari's got a better straight line speed.
Charles again, he's on the defensive again, isn't he? Poor Jackie Charles tries to get away, and he's just dries defensive because he's stuck with people climbing all over him. He can't kind of get his groove going, can he, Tim? Because
he can't get him into a bit of fresh air and a bit of pressure off, and Hitchens really, he's nearly bump drafting him on the straight down to Ravazza, and this is loud. Look, Morgan Driscoll's managed to catch his Ferrari up, and he's going to look to get the double toe now, but I think this is got to be moved on by Jonathan Hitchin. But we got Gosling. He's got to defend hard to Josh Pratt. He's going to take it around the long way, round the outside on the defensive. But no, he's that's good. Hitchin's got past Jack Sherrill. That is for 14th place. But Pratt, he was on the inside line. He's got it for Villeneuve. So that is the move done. Josh Pratt up to 10th place.
That's it. Come on, Tim. We've said the move's done. You know Dan Gosling's going to come back at him.
Oh, yeah. We've seen it from Danny Gosling. He is...
he's suppressed.
No, look at the grunt of that Mercedes AMG V8 And he's really, really pushing it side by side as they come up to Piratella. And Josh Pratt there, and Paul Company used all of the track and some more of that runoff there to just try and keep ahead. But I'm trying to think who's that.
You got Contos sat at the back, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sat at the back of the three waiting. He's
Contos
waiting.
is just all that race. Contos has seemed to be just sat looming in the shadows for whichever train he's been seen to be sat on. Just unfortunately, it looks like Dave Lowson's dropped out the back of this train a little bit. That's a shame for him. He's down in 17th place. Was battling with Matt. He had a really slow stop. He was battling with Mark Johnson. He's up in 13th. He's had a great pit stop. He's ahead of Jack Sherrill. So Jack really losing out quite a bit there. But our man, Jonathan Hitchin, up to 14th place.
Yeah, where did he stay? 38th, did he start?
No, try 48.
48th, and he's in, what did we say was it? He's in 14th.
14th place.
Wow. 34 drivers have been passed by Jonathan Hitchin, and he's not finished.
No, and he's ran on the first lap as well, James. Don't forget that one. And he's all over the back. His next victim is going to be Mark Johnson by the looks of things. It's going to be Ferrari on Ferrari. And the thing is though, James, these drivers he's coming up against aren't slow. And we've got look at this. Dom Roberts he's got Kiefer McKenna now all over his gearbox.
Oh, he's right up behind him, isn't he? He's pulled in that. What did he have? 1.5 seconds?
I think it was about that.
Yeah, took it out half a second a lap.
Just
half a second.
Here he goes. Here he goes. He's going. Oh, he's going to go hard onto the brakes, trying to beat. See, he's going to outbrake one another. But Dom Roberts, he's no mug. He kept it defensive very early. Got to the left-hand side of the track, just to maintain that. But as they go up to Villeneuve now, Kiefer McKenna jinxing that car into the inside and just trying to do anything he can to just try and put Dom Roberts off.
This is the problem now. He's got so close now, isn't he? He don't want to get that tunnel vision that you can get when you're stuck behind a driver. Well, you just end up following him and following and following and following. You just go everywhere with him, don't you, on the track? If Dom makes a mistake, last thing you want is, oh, sorry, I cut me set.
I think we've got John. I think John Hitchin. Yeah, he's done past Thompson. There we go.
That's another one.
As we go back to the lead now, and nothing's separated these two guys. 35 minutes of racing, and there's only 2 tenths between them.
Wow.
Now, John Hitchin up to 17th place. This obviously we know we've been keeping in touch with him. He is for around about half a second. No, sorry, 1.2 seconds behind his next victim. That is Contos, and I think he could. This is going to be tight, but he could potentially end up with a top 10 finish after starting on the back row of the grid.
Yeah, definitely. I think on that one, and I think Contos has now got to decide, right? Because every time we've gone to Contos, he's been sat at the back, hasn't he? Sat at the back of the train. He's been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. He's got to decide now whether he's going to push. He's got to push Gosling to get away from Hitchin. If he doesn't push Gosling, Hitchin, he's lost half a second, which has brought Hitchin in closer to him. And Contos has now got to decide, I'm not going to sit back.
Here we go.
Oh, McKenna! Oh,
no! That is so unlucky for McKenna there. And I think we've got to keep an eye on Tennant. He's really closing in on Dom Roberts now. And Dom Roberts is going to go defensive. Yeah, again, he's surely he's going to be carrying a bit of defensive on, damage on that poor James.
Yeah, he's definitely, after that incident, he's got to be. Tennant's now got to be licking his lips and saying, right, where am I going to get him?
Well, he's trying to go for the switchback, but I don't think he's going to get it done on the drive up to Piratella there. But Dom Roberts is going to be looking for him. He's got to pounce now, surely, while he's weak.
Yeah. Oh.
Here we go. Here we go. So let's take a look. They're going to come up. So he's already ahead of him. Roberts is going to take the inside. Oh no! He just caught that Scottish curb on the inside, which catapulted his car into the air, and then he was just out of control of his car. And nothing he could do to avoid it. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on, look. Pratt's managed to catch up as well. Look, he's now hustling Jonathan Hitchens. So this makes some...
Hold on, Tim. Hold on, Tim. Pratt went back. He was ahead of Gosling.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's got this.
Pratt got to slow down because Gosling went past, Kontos went past, Hitchin went past. So Pratt must have had a slow down for someone who's gone off, and then he's had to slow down, and then in the process of doing that, he lost 3 positions. But however, that does put Hitchin now up into 12th.
Wow. I mean, 2 places to go, and he's got that top 10. I think Tennant. I'm not sure whether he's as quick as Kiefer McKenna. And Dom Roberts already managed to pull out a little bit of a gap here, James.
Yeah, I don't know if he's as quick as what McKenna was. McKenna must be kicking himself there. That was done. It was just Roberts hit that sausage curb, and well, when you got 2 or 3 wheels off the ground, you'd never control in a car, are you? Let's be honest. He had nowhere to go, straight into the side. But I don't know if Tennant is as quick. Hitchin upside, Kontos.
Oh, here comes Hitchin. No! A bit of a love tap on his way through from Kontos. But now Pratt's going to be absolutely all over the back of Kontos as he runs a little bit wide onto the grass on exit. But we've seen from Josh Pratt and that 444 Porsche, that yellow and grey and black Porsche, that he's no mug. He'll put, I think he's going to get the move done and keep you in touch with what's happening out front. Dom Roberts has pulled out. He's now up to 8/10 of the gap over Tennant. I think that's going to be safer for him now.
Yeah, I think poor old Tennant he's up. I think he's not going to be as quick as Kiefer was, and I think he's now got to decide. He should have pushed when they went off. I think if he'd got in front, he might have had a better chance, but he didn't take the opportunity. And unfortunately now Roberts is I think it's like nearly a second out in front of him.
Yeah, about nearly that. Yeah, last time around, Dom Roberts was 3/10 quicker than Tom Tennant. So yeah, look at the front of Bradley Hols's car there. It's carrying a lot of damage. We'll be able to see when it comes a bit closer into shot. He's just having a bit of a battle with Chris Edford's red and blue BMW, but I don't think there's a straight panel on that Porsche.
No, he looks like Tim. It reminds me of somebody who's going to drive into a pole. He's got that indent in the front, isn't he, of the Porsche? He looks like he's hit a pole, like you do when you're in a multi-storey car park or something.
I think he's... I mean, there's definitely a few people fallen victim to a bit of a Bradley Holst ram raid there.
Yeah, I think Bradley's got a little bit excited. But we have got Hitchin coming up to the back of Gosling again. Gosling's either going to go... I don't know how long this is going to last for. I think Hitchin's going to be too quick, and I think Hitchin's going to get top 10.
It's 3 laps to go, James. Yep. And I think Jonathan Hitchin is just going to be throwing everything at it, the kitchen sink, everything.
Dude, he's going to have the Flintstones, isn't he? He's going to have the Flintstones with his feet underneath. He's going to be running as fast.
Oh, I think if we've come away from it, I think Bradley Holst, he's had a bit of an incident which has allowed Cy Anthony, John Watt and Xander Hill past him.
My replay's flicking about a bit. Hold on.
Yeah, that's just literally...
Yeah.
I think that's just literally, after we came away from him, he's lost it on the corner exit.
Yeah, he went onto the gravel. Do you know what? He had too much power going down on that one, too, because he looked like he was safe, didn't he? He looked like if he'd held it straight, he was safe, but he just powered out and went round, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was one of those where you're just better off just easing out the accelerator for that little bit.
Look at this view, Tim, on the back end of Danny Gosling was hitching all over the back of us.
Oh, look at this. Well, a good friend of the show, Nick Allen, called him Hungry Hitchin, and he is definitely now, as he's now really hassling the back of Danny Gosling's Mercedes. And
top 10 for Hitchin now.
Here he goes, up the inside, as they head down to Tamburello, and that is move done.
Done.
Now, can he get
William Campbell?
William Campbell's BMW in 9th place? He's only, 2-3 car lengths ahead, but Danny Gosling, he's not letting Jonathan Hitchin go. He did show his move out into the slipstream and just move him. But interestingly, look at who's 2 places ahead of him. It's his brother, Chris Hitchin.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's not give anything to William Campbell. He's got to get past him first.
Well, yeah,
I know we're presuming, but let's not presume that the deal's going to be done. We've only got 2 to go. Come on.
Do you think there could be a bit of brotherly love coming to tactics here? A bit of, back it, slow down. I mean, you look, Chris Hitchin, he's in a little bit of a pocket of his own in his Lamborghini, time-wise. Yeah, possibly just back up, Willie,
though.
Really?
They're too competitive for that.
I think probably it'd be more the case of knowing the Hitchin brothers that would just be mocking him from having to start from the back of the field rather than trying to aid him and help him get any higher up.
Who's going to be mocking who? Jonathan, who's come from the back, or Chris, who qualified? Chris qualified.
Chris is beating him, so it'd be Chris.
Well,
definitely.
Yeah, I suppose, mate. John's climbed all the way back up. Would Chris be able to do the same thing?
While we talk about Chris Hitchin, a big shout out to him. I know he does a lot of deliveries for the community and put them together for the Spa 24. Well, the one we're currently watching now for his brother as well. That's a brilliant artwork. But here comes Jonathan Hitchin. He's got the artwork, so he's going to have to take it round the outside.
Is William Campbell going to let him?
He's not. Oh no, he's turned. He's lost under brakes.
No!
Oh, that is not going to be the top 10 then. No, no, he's losing places. Now he's got Jack Sherrill, who's actually, rather than having to defend, he looks like he's going to be on the attack for a change for the first time in this race.
Rear right wheel, Tim. Rear right wheel went on the grass.
Yeah.
Got him round as he hit the brake, and that was it. Oh, he's got to be hit.
Oh, no. He was... Austin William Campbell was definitely putting the squeeze on him there, Jake. Here we go, we've got the replay.
Massive amount, didn't he? He knew he was there.
He defended him hard. No. There we go.
He had a rough room. Let's give William Campbell some good driving. He had enough room.
He had plenty of room.
He had enough of room. Hitchin just put it on the grass himself, didn't he? He had enough room.
While we've been watching the battle ensue and the replays, Tom Roberts has taken the race victory with Tom Tennant and Alberto Gravilli coming in second and third for a Porsche 1, 2, 3. Podium lockout for Porsche.
5.
And
then Taylor, Daniel Taylor was the first
non-Porsche finisher in 6th place.
That was the word I was looking for, Tim. I got so excited I couldn't get
I know, same here. It's been such a crazy race. 45 minutes of action. I don't think we've stopped to draw breath once.
No, I've got a bit croaky, Tim, I tell you.
You're not the only one. Chris Hitchin comes in 8th. Austin William Campbell, 9th. Dan Gosling, 10th. Kontos, 11th. Pratt, 12th. Great action theme for him. Johnson, 13th. Jonathan Hitchin, 14th in the end. Second of the Ferrari runners. But I think realistically, after sorting in 48th place, you've got to take 14th place.
Yeah, I think we'll give him driver of the day. I'm going to invent driver of the day.
Driver of the day has got to, he's had 2 spins, and to come out finishing 14th after sorting in 48th place is a brilliant result for him.
Yeah, definitely. Driver of the day, Jonathan Hitchin, making up, what did he make up? 34 places?
I think that is it, yes. Yeah,
34 places.
Amazing.
So he can stick a sticker on his car. Driver of the day. There you go. Unbelievable driving. There ain't many people that can do 34 places. Not gonna lie.
But no.
So well done, you.
It's not. He's showing his racecraft there to the max, and I think another big shout has got to go to Jack Sherrill. What a drive from him! He spent so much of the race defending and just clinging on to his position for dear life. And it was a shame as well. Talking of other drivers, shame we lost James Armstrong so early on. After he bounced across the curbs on the inside and cost him dearly with damage to the car.
I would have loved the McKenna Roberts pass to happen just to see if Roberts could have caught up to McKenna and done the same thing. I'm so upset. He just went over the curb, poor Roberts, and he just flew. And McKenna was there stopping him going into the gravel, really. There was nowhere for him to go. But if only that had come off, what would we have had at the end? Well, we had obviously Hitchin. So, yeah.
Well,
Tim, the race results are up. Are you going to take a deep breath this time as I did?
Yeah, go on then. I think it's my turn to have a bit of a
Yes,
speed
free.
read. Mine haven't, actually interesting, mine haven't come up, so I'll have to run it through from...
You haven't got it? Or do you want me to do it? Still not got it?
Right,
okay, so right, here we go.
Go on
So
then, ready, go.
Yeah, Roberts in first place. Congratulations to him. Tom Tennant second. Gravelli in third. McKenna unlucky. Big shout out to you. Unlucky in fourth. Shadden in fifth. Dan Taylor sixth. Bamber seventh. Chris Hitchin in eighth. Austin William in ninth. Danny Goslin in 10th. Contos in 11th. Pratt in 12th. Johnson in 13th. Then we got the Jonathan Hitchin making up 34 places through the whole race, finishing a magnificent 14th. Jack Terrell 15th, Driscoll 16th, Larrison 17th, Peroni 18th, Ellisford 19th, John Williams 20th, and Watt 21st, Cyani 22nd, Stringfellow 23rd, Neil Smith 24th, 25th, Xander Hill 26th, Murray Luca 27th, Davey 28th after his little he had race. That was well done, you fella. Alan Lever 29th, Stuart Bick 30th, Gary Bacon 31st, Ollie Pimley 32nd, Jennings 33rd, Armstrong 34th, Colin Wynn from where did Colin start? He was 40th as well. Did he make up a good few places?
Yeah, I was going to say, and Stuart Bickley started on the back row with Jonathan Hill, so that's a great drive from him to get up to 30th.
Yeah,
so
Colin Wynn made up 12 positions. So well done to you. Charlie Bebb, unfortunately, lost position down in 36th. Bradley Ells 37th, and 38th, Smith 39th, Gary Truby 40th, Darren Wiley 41st, and I'm sure there's one more.
Yeah, there's another page, yeah.
Here we go.
There we go.
Peter Cox 42nd, Stonehouse 43rd, LeBert, after his very eventful race, finished in 44th. James Armstrong, unfortunately, disconnecting 45th. Adam Holloway 46th, Lee Green 47th, Trevor Davis 48th, and Tom Farrell in 49th position.
All right, let's. What's our top 20 then, James?
So now, interestingly, we have got Tom Tennant made up 2 places. Even though he finished second, he made up 2 places. He's now in first place. Jonathan Hitchin with that amazing drive is in second. Kiefer Buchanan Gravelli 4th. Chatterton in 5th. Busby 6th. Charlie Bebb 7th. Goslin 8th. Robert 9th. Andres Bedoya in 10th. LeBert in 11th, Armstrong 12th, Andrew Jones in 13th position, Jacob Hyde in 14th, Simon Bamber 15th, Matt 16th, Austin William in 17th, Darren Wiley in 18th, Mark Jennings in 19th, and Jack Cherrell down 2 positions. That rounds out our top 20. So there you go, Tim.
Brilliant. Wow.
Well, there you go.
Wow. And there's just silence in the background now, and wow.
Sleep, Tim. I think that's the word.
Well, the trouble is, after we do commentary on GT3s, James, I struggle to sleep because I'm just so wired from all the action, and I dread to think what time it's going to be in the morning when I'm going to be able to get to sleep tonight.
I don't know, mate. I'm in the same boat as you. I think the problem is your adrenaline goes. You try and go to sleep. Like if I went up to bed now, all I'd be thinking about was the race. Like, oh my God, that was amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe Roberts hit McKenna. Oh my God, I can't believe Hitchin got all the way up and then spun it. So much going on. It'd be like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it is quite often for me. It's just we have such great action here on GT3. So if you're thinking, I'd love a bit of that, I'd like to get involved in this league. Well, obviously season 4 won't be too far away. So best thing to do is to get involved in our community. If you're not already, you can do so by joining our Discord server by heading across to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/iRacingUK. Alternatively, you can check us out on Twitch and Instagram. We're on both of those. We are team I can never remember. I'll get this right the right way round. We are IRUK_team on both of those. Big thanks to the guys at trackcams22.com. You probably see them messages about them pop up during the stream. They provide us with the camera angles to view all this great, fantastic action on. As Chris Rowlands mentioned earlier, obviously we're back broadcast-wise on Tuesday night for F3s, which that never fails for shoddy action there at Spa. Next weekend, next Sunday night, will be Porsche Cup. What's been an absolute brilliant season of that so far. Obviously, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for more GT3 fun and action where we are at Long Beach. Wow, a tight street circuit with a very tight hairpin and a tight section around a fountain. What's the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen?
Can cars float, or is that just a
Well,
maybe
I think we might see a few having a good go at it, James. I think it's going to be one hell of an interesting race. If tonight, if it's half as good as tonight, it's still going to be spectacular. But I get the feeling it's going to be spicy tonight.
Oh, can't wait.
Neither can I, mate. Big thanks to all of our guys who took part in the Spa 24 hours, and obviously a few of them still showed up tonight. Brilliant effort for you guys. Obviously, they were fair, as we mentioned at the start of the show. They were fundraising for the mental health charity Mind. Raised over, I think so, up to about £1,600 so far. Absolutely stunning effort from those guys, and they had some great results, including our very own Sean Silently Quash, who God, I've completely butchered.
Sorry, who's this Sean Wiley Squash person you talk about?
I don't know. I've butchered poor producer Sean's surname there. Sean Cranley Swash. Fucking hell.
P45 for Tim and the post on the way out, please.
Yeah. And then he followed it up with the swear word as well. Oh dear, it's all going wrong. Yeah.
Bye, Tim. Nice knowing you. So next time out, it'll just be me here on my own, because Tim would have held his P45, because Sean would have given it to him on the way out. So everybody say bye, Tim.
I think that's a good place to end the show. This has been iRacing UK Discord community with our GT3 League, brought to you via iRacing, the world's premier motorsport simulation. Good night.
Good night.